be me telling you how I listen to the universe and ways that you can start listening to the universe, and kind of some little exercises that can start to get you to figure out how to listen to the universe. So first off, what is listening to the universe? In my opinion, there's many ways to listen to the universe, and it actually, I feel like you kind of have to find your own way to listen to the universe. But what it basically means to me is finding the synchronicities, finding the patterns, finding the things that link up, that match up, that make sense. And it doesn't always have to make sense right in the moment, but it's kind of just being aware. At least for me, it is. Being that I am a Virgo moon sign, and then I'm a Gemini rising, Mercury plays a big part in how I am. And being that Virgo is all about patterns and finding habits and different things like that, I kind of can't help but listen to the universe. And it's a gift, and it can also be a blessing because it can drive you crazy. But one of the ways that I listen to universe is obviously through meditation. There's so much power in just listening to the thoughts that come into your mind. It's ridiculous. Like, there's so many, well, at least for me, that's the thing. I don't want to make it too general, but I'll tell you how I listen to the universe. Listening to your thoughts is major. You are not your thoughts. So let's just put that out there. Before you were here physically, your soul was already here. The spirit is already here because it's all energy. And energy is transformable. It's recyclable. If anything, it just keeps going. So I'm a firm believer that just like someone invented or had the thought to invent, light or invent whatever it is, it was a synchronicity. It was fate for that person to be that person, to think of that, but that thought per se wasn't necessarily them. So for example, Nostradamus, me and him have very, very similar charts and aspects and things, and so there's a similar type of energy. He was like a prophet. For those who don't really know what that is, it's like a person who uses astrology. Well, in his case, he used astrology to be able to tell what time would tell. You know what I mean? What would happen in the future. And being that me and him have very similar charts, I find that I have similar energies when it comes to trying to predict what's going to happen in the future with tarot or divination. And I'm addicted to astrology. Like astrology, I understand that so much, the science behind it, and metaphysics. When it comes to just science and all the things that go with it, it just clicks for me. So it goes to show that who you are has a lot to do with the thoughts that you will receive, but also the mind state that you're in has a lot to do with it as well. So a way that you can kind of tap into it is literally listen to your thoughts. Sit in a quiet room, and it sounds so easy, but if you actually try to do it, a lot of you will find that you might not have results, or you can't sit very long. It's not as easy as it sounds. So I really encourage you, if you don't do that in the first place, you need to learn how to sit with your thoughts and start figuring out what is more aligned with your spirit, and then what are the thoughts that are just passing through, because it's just energy in motion, right? So that would be my first step for you. Figure out what thoughts are yours and what thoughts are just what's in the ether. Another way that I listen to the universe, actually have found many different ways that universe talks through me. That's how I like to picture it. So for example, when I see a red car come by, and it sounds super generic, but and I'm not going to explain how I got to this because I don't really want to put all my business out there, but when I see a red car and I'm in thoughts and I'm talking to universe or talking to myself or connecting to something, it's confirmation for me. And so literally, and it won't be, it's not like it's just like, oh, I see a red car, so I know exactly what's going on. No, it's literally me in a thought process. And when I'm thinking something, or when I'm seeing, when I'm trying to figure out something, I'll say, okay, universe, hey, something. I'll ask a question in my head, and I'll see a red car, and it won't just be like I know it sounds just like, oh, well, lots of people have red cars, but no, it's about timing. Timing is everything. Whenever I'm asking and I see a red car come by, or if I'm asking and I see two red cars come by back to back, it's all about what you set your intent for. And if you're powerful enough to manipulate energy, you will see that everything in universe is so simple. Like, everything is literally a message. If you've ever done psychedelics or anything before, that's a perfect way to listen to universe. And I'm not condoning psychedelic use, whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But yeah, but like, that's another way that you can listen to universe. If you've ever done like LSD or I guess shrooms. I haven't tried shrooms before, but just things like that that really open the mind. You know, the drugs that aren't for, like, you don't do it to have fun or to get high. It's literally like your world, your mind is, it's, I can't even explain it. That's a whole nother video, you guys. But that's another way that that's for me, that's how I knew that universe had more to tell me. That's how I knew that everything I had been feeling since I was a little girl, since before I could remember, since the first time I could remember, everything made sense, because it was confirmation that it's not just me that I feel this, it's everything is connected. So when you have that aha moment, and for some people it could just be in a dream that they get this, or a feeling, or they're just born knowing that everything is connected. When you figure out how to connect the dots, you're essentially aligning yourself. You've essentially aligned yourself to universe, and that is the closest that is the most merged that I feel like you'll ever be, when you have that aha moment that, oh my gosh, like everything is together, everything is synchronized, everything works as one, everything is one big organism just living in its own perspective. Once you can really dissect that, you will be able to look at things and be like, okay, that's what that means, this is what this means. What's another way? Start making little you can ask for signs depending on what you, I don't want to say worship, but whatever you deal with, because there's so many ways of using energies, and there's so many names and deities and angels. There's so many ways to classify things, but whatever you resonate with, try connecting with whatever that is, if you know it's safe. You know what I mean? And try to just do little things. Like when I first started with tarot, I would just ask simple questions for my spreads when I didn't have anyone to read on but myself. You have to just, like, you have to strengthen the muscle of understanding universe. It's always there. It's just like, you know, having arms and legs. It's always there, but until you learn how to walk, it's just there. So it's the same thing with with your third eye, or whatever you want to say. It never is deep. It's first of all, it's never shut. It's just, if you're not using it, it's not going to be strong. You understand what I'm saying? And if you're taught your whole life that you're not supposed to use it, of course you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, none of it is just like, oh, you have to open your third eye. Your third eye is open, sweetie. You just have to tap into it. You have to be able to know that whatever you're thinking in here, the connections, the synchronicities, the coincidences, those are not coincidences. And that's the beauty of what I would say learning what universe is all about. It's really unveiling life. It's unveiling what everything has been covered this whole time. It's seeing past the bullshit. But it takes literally just looking. Just take a look at what you're seeing. And also try to correlate that with what you're trying to know, if that makes sense. So if you know you're trying to figure out something in particular, hold on. If you know you're trying to pick something in particular, or find something out in particular, you need to go ahead and start training yourself to have ways to communicate with universe. Because obviously in the third dimension, like talking, like even here, talking doesn't do enough. Like, that's not the only way we express ourselves. When you start moving into deeper, higher dimensions, talking, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? Like, that, it's just kind of silly, like, to think like, oh, the English language or whatever language has all of the expression that I need to know. That's not really how this thing works. It's so much more deeper than that, to the point where I almost advise people to, it's a mental thing. It's like you're talking with your mind, because that's how you know how to talk, is to talk. But you have to know that, like, it's the feeling, it's the energy. If you are not tapped in, like, there's no way I can really explain it. You have to tap in, like, you have to listen, you have to, it's like an inner feeling, an inner voice, but it's not your ego. It's like you can feel that it's something else. I feel like I'm not explaining it enough, but there's really no, that's what I'm saying. Talking doesn't, when it comes to spirituality, talking is just not it. So if you're expecting to just hear voices, and sometimes I hear like the advice that I'm trying to look for, or sometimes when I'm reading, I hear the voice of whoever it is, but that's different. That's me channeling. Listening to universe it starts with this, it starts with this, it starts with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, you have to be in tune. If you're not in tune and you're like, how do I listen to the universe? How do I get answers? First of all, what are you trying to, like, what are you trying to know? Spirituality is so deep, and I'm sorry to get kind of pissed, but I get so annoyed when people use spirituality just for like the little things in life. And not to say that you shouldn't, but I'm saying, like, if you're really trying to have deep transformation and you're trying to change your life and you feel this like deep transformative energy coming towards you, and you know that there's more, and the only thing that you care about is trying to figure out if someone's cheating on you, like, it's like you're not ready. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much I can do to help you, especially if you're just stuck on how does this person feel about me, like, it's so much more than that. It's so much more. And I'm not saying that you should never, look into things like that, but maybe try to use those little life lessons as your way to test out universe. Like, maybe ask universe yourself, is this, like, how does this person feel about me? Start learning to be in touch with yourself. We're so sensitive to things, like, we're so sensitive to energy. And if you know that you are sensitive to energy, you need to start, like, testing yourself. Start training your abilities. Like, it's that simple. Like, just start seeing how you feel whenever you are around someone. Start using, like, your own thoughts and feelings to come up with what the answer of universe is trying to tell you. Like, use your own senses along with whatever you're seeing outside in nature, or just around you in the home, and put the pieces together. Like, I can't make it sound any more simple, you guys. Like, I know it sounds kind of like, that's it. When it comes to listening to universe, you shouldn't have to try hard. As long as, like, the closer you are connected to yourself, and also I would say nature, because for me nature is a huge thing. But again, it all goes into knowing thyself. Without knowing yourself, there's really no way to connect to universe. There's no way to have a base location. You have to be grounded. That's what being grounded is all about. It's not necessarily just about being humble or being closer to this vibration on earth. It's about having an anchor where you are, which is earth in this lifetime. But having that anchor just be there so that wherever you are trying to connect to, no matter which direction, no matter how high in the dimensions you are trying to reach, no matter how deep you are trying to get to something, you have that anchor to keep you there. Because energy is powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the thing. If you're not deep into this, listening to universe is going to be extra hard. And then not even just that, but it's just like, what, like, if you're trying to listen to universe, but it's over like some really third dimensional shit, then it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's levels to listening to universe, but the type of listening that I do, it's deeper than just, trying to figure out the little things in life. This, like, listening to universe, the way I use it is like to really dig deep, to really like find direction, to really see the elements give me an answer. No biased opinion in it. You know what I'm saying? There's no bias with nature. There's no, there's no favoritism when it comes to trees and how trees talk to you. Like, all of that stuff is very real. It's all about how and where you are and your spiritual alignment and your past life experiences. All of that has a huge deal with how connected you can be and how connected you already are. So if this makes sense to you, then it's supposed to make sense to you. But if you don't get it, it's probably because you need to center yourself a little bit more. And I'm not saying that I explained it perfectly, but if it's resonating with you and you know what I'm saying, it's because, like, I'm speaking from a place where it's really hard to explain it with words, but you get it. But if you don't really get it, then maybe you just need to take a little bit more time to ground yourself. And I'll make a video on grounding yourself if that's something that you don't even know how to do at this point, or if you want to find more ways to ground yourself, because it can, like, even if you know how to ground yourself, sometimes you need new ways because you need stronger anchors. You know what I'm saying? So it all plays a huge part, but again, it's all about where you are. If you're like, how spiritual you are, how much you believe, your intent, your faith in it. You can't listen to universe and be like, oh, I'm just tripping. Like, it doesn't work. Like, and if it does work that way, you won't get the right answers. You'll be doing things the wrong way. You won't see things clearly. So that's another thing. You have to have a clear mind. You have to be able to have a clear what is it? Like a a clear antenna so you can receive things clearly. um, I mean, there's different ways to listen to the universe, and I guess this video didn't explain all of the ways, but I just don't want to give all of my ways away because I feel like those were, like, I feel like once I figure out another way to specifically listen to universe, I'm very, very sacred with that. Because I'm a very, very observing type of person. And so that's kind of where I get all of my signs from. As far as like when I see something, I know that this number, which is for me, it's usually like 822. I see it everywhere I go, but it's usually when I'm thinking like, okay, should I do this? Like when I'm trying to make a decision, or if I'm just feeling kind of nervous, I'll see that number and it's like universe is reassuring me. And I mean, I see it everywhere, and it's not like common numbers to see 822, but I see it in phone numbers. I see it on license plates. I see it on on like movies. I see it like everywhere. The 22, 822. It's just the little things. You have to tap in. You have to figure out how to listen to universe. And I know that's like really a letdown, but honestly, if you really want to listen to universe, you have to do the work. Like, I didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I know how to listen to universe. It took time. It took me figuring out, okay, so when I see this type of card, then this is what this means. Because it's not just red cards. It's so deep, you guys. But you have to figure out what your own patterns are. You have to figure out what your patterns are. You have to figure out how your mind works. You have to figure out what catches your attention. And then sooner or later, you might just be seeing the signs everywhere. Like, because that, for me, I almost had, like, overloads with the shit. Like, I would just be like, oh, my gosh, I see it again. I see it again. I see it again. But those times where I'm sitting to myself or sitting with someone who is as connected to universe as I am, or maybe a mystic type of sign, those are the most solidifying moments for me, especially when it's like raining outside. It's listening, guys. It's all listening. I promise. It's all listening. It's all paying attention. If you quiet your mind and start to have a conversation, but that also goes into you building a relationship with whatever it is that you're having a conversation with. Guys, it goes really deep. It's really deep. And I hope that made sense. I feel like I have to make other videos to make this one make a little bit more sense. So I'll probably do that with like how to ground yourself, how to build connections with your ancestors, how to build connections with deities. Everything that is engulfed in universe is very deep. That's why it's very easy to go down the wormhole of spirituality, because it doesn't end. It doesn't. Just like energy, it never ends. It just keeps going and going and going and transferring. So yeah. But I really hope that it made sense. Like, I know for a fact, if you understand, if you are getting where I'm coming from, you're my soul. You're a part of my soul group. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you get it. If you don't get it, it's probably just because you just need to censor yourself a little bit better. Ground yourself. Figure out ways to be able to listen to that energy. And I wish I had a name for it, but it's just like, I mean, for some, it could just be your own voice that you're listening to. And for others, depending on how deep your spirituality is, it could be like other entities helping to show you things, but you are the only person who can unlock certain things. It's really deep. Really deep, you guys. But I really hope that kind of sort of broke down a little bit of how to listen to universe and what it actually means. I'll probably definitely come back to this topic, but I feel like the more I talk about it, the more further away I get from the actual topic. So I'm going to leave it at this. I really, really hope that it helped you guys. I hope it wasn't too long, because I didn't expect it to be this long. But I definitely do want to talk more about these type of things with you guys. And just, I don't know where you guys are spiritually, like what level, and I like to learn spirituality as well. I'm always learning about it. And so there's certain things that I know about, but I'm not confident to talk about on YouTube yet because I'm still learning more about it. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about with you guys, but just leave certain things down in the comments and let me know. Let me know what you guys are actually into. Let me know what you would want to know, like the things that I can help you with. I would definitely share, ways on how to unlock certain things and how to listen to certain voices, how to know what voice is yours. All of those things like that. Just let me know. Just let me know. Leave questions in the comments. I really do appreciate things like that. A like, a subscribe, all of that would be amazing so you can know when this Leo uploads. And yeah. I'm love from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day I will be. And until next time, I will see you very, very soon. Tell universe I said hi.